Hello.
Hey, Jerry.
Just happy to be here. I spent the evening with Sailor Bob last night.
Oh, nice.
His December 3rd gathering, which
Yep.
was that was a good one.
Very
Enjoyed that.
nice.
Went to
Yep.
bed going, why do I worry about anything? Nothing matters. It was a very peaceful night. Nothing
Yeah.
matters.
120 years ago, there were, I'm guessing this figure, there were 2 billion people on the planet that all had worries, they all had concerns, and were all, racing off to work and raising their kids and doing everything that they needed to do. And everything was so important. And the reality is, those persons are not here anymore,
Right.
and we don't even consider them. We don't even think
I
about them.
know.
They're just,
It's
you know,
even in your own family tree, your own
yeah,
line,
yep,
things that should matter more or
mm,
whatever. Um, yeah, it.
yeah. What do we know about our great 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 grandparents?
But I mean, there's the weird. How do I don't care but appear to care while talking to persons
Yeah,
is a weird line to walk.
yeah. And sometimes you will seem to care, and that's okay. And sometimes you
Yeah,
won't seem to care, and that's
yeah,
okay too. You know,
yeah.
People sometimes say to me, um, gee, I can't wait to, you know, have this experience that you've had, Terence. You know, I want to be somebody that doesn't experience anger anymore. And I just laugh at them.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
It's going to happen, you know, it will happen.
Yeah,
So, yeah, things, there is a shift. There's a definite shift that occurs, but your life still goes on. It still goes on, I sometimes try and describe it like this, and I'm not going to use the word awakening because it's loaded, but pre-understanding, let's use that word instead, pre-understanding, all human beings understand is duality. Duality. And the irony of that is they don't even realize what duality is. They don't know, you know. If you walked up to somebody in the street and asked them that question, they'd look at you a bit goggle-eyed, like post-understanding, there's an absolute understanding of non-duality coupled with duality. It's both. You can't have one without the other. That was a famous line that my teacher often said, You can't have non-duality without duality, and you can't have duality without non-duality. You can't. It's not possible. To get to understanding non-dual, you've got to use duality to get there, because that's what we're doing right now. We're communicating, and all our
yeah. There's
communication
there's
is
no other
dualistic.
way.
Yeah,
There's no other way to do it.
yeah, literally
It's
no
it's
other way.
just it gets that it's messy when you try to explain
Don't.
what you can't really explain.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, well, and yet we gather.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and that's the point of it, I guess, is that one you already are, and the other one you have to learn to become a dualistic being.
yeah.
That's the growing up process, and
Correct.
then you get tired of that, and you go, "There's got to be a better way."
Yeah,
And you may end up in religions
yeah.
or whatever, but
Mm.
you just want to get away from
And it's
the
interesting. It's interesting.
thinking.
Even that thought, there's got to be a better way, is
Right,
incorrect. It's still incorrect. Like ultimately, if there is only one, then one is responsible for all. One is all. One without a second. One is all. Yeah. So this idea, I'm on this path because I'm over living in the world of duality, or I'm tired of suffering, or I want to experience this joy that teachers talk about. That's the idea of all of that is completely wrong, because
It's
all it
right
is,
up there. It's up with those people that are gone 100 years ago.
yeah,
Right. It's the same thing.
yeah,
It wasn't real anyway.
yeah. So, what's this loaded term awakening that gets bandied about? Everyone's on the path hoping that personal self is going to awaken. And that's not what happens. Personal self drops off. Personal self is seen for what personal self actually is. And when that is fully seen, fully understood in an absolute sense, actual self, now that's a loaded term as well, but actual self is self-revealing. It's self-revealing. Yeah? So the whole idea is, number one, coming to know what you are. But number two, it's not personal self that awakens. It can only be consciousness, if we want to call it that. Some people call it awareness. Yeah. That consciousness or awareness, yeah, that can possibly awaken because you're conscious. The only problem is our whole life we've been taking, and I'm going to use this word, which is incorrect, but we've been taking this point of consciousness to be me, to be a person. And that got drilled into us from around the age of 2 years of age when we start to learn language. You look at our thoughts, and our thoughts are in whatever language it is that we've been brought up in. So it's thoughts. So the idea of non-duality and duality, I often say, don't chase non-duality. It's ridiculous because it'd be a dualistic person that's trying to discover what non-dual is, and it can't. It's not possible. Why? Because it's dualistic. So what I'm always trying to encourage people to do is to understand what duality is. What is that? What is that? You know, and the only instrument that brings about duality is the mind. Because in the absence of it, when it drops or collapses, non-dual. Because there's no narrating, there's no storytelling going on. Yeah. But then there's the direct experience of just being. And this beingness we've taken to be Jerry or Terry or Lisa or Max or our whole life. So the path is coming to understand what you're not coming to understand what you are. What you are is already present. But this that is present, we've been taken to be the personal person. That's it. One of my favorite pointers is the amnesia pointer. It's so powerful. And I keep using it and I keep using it and I keep using it, and it still goes over people's heads. But, if you, I don't know if any of you here have ever had the opportunity of sitting with somebody that has actually experienced personal amnesia. They still know a laptop's a laptop, a table is a table, the sky is the sky, but in reference to themselves, they don't know their name, they don't know what country they were born into, they don't know who their parents are, they don't know what they've done for a living, they don't know anything. At that point, personal self is absent, totally gone. And what's happened? There's a memory loss. That's all that's happened. So there's no narrating going on in the mind. Yeah, I am Terence and I was born such and such a year and my parents are blah and what I do for a living is blah. All of that's absent, completely gone. And the person sits there and they literally don't know who they are. Now, if you look at that, that tells you very directly, very clearly, and very succinctly what this seeming personal self is. It's a product of mind. That's all. And the, and the irony of that is it was instilled in us from around the age of 2. Prior to us learning language, prior to us learning word, yeah, there's no personal self there. 12-month-old baby, there's no personal self there. They're just purely 100% present. And there's just a livingness process that's happening in them. Do you think they're thinking, oh, I'm going to move my arm? A 12-month-old. Do you think they're thinking, I'm going to move my arm? That thought would have to, I'm going to move my arm. The thought's not there. Yet the arm gets moved. You know, the legs kick around, and I'm talking about a 12-month-old. So that personal amnesia pointer that I use is primarily about coming to see what you're not. What you're not. Then and in coming to see what you're not, there's something left. There's something left. Like that person who experiences amnesia simply because they can't remember who they are anymore, they don't die. They don't fall off the chair dead. They don't die. There's something left. Now, it is a pointer. Yeah, it's a pointer. So trying to chase non-duality, or even trying to talk about non-duality, we're doing it dualistically. Right. Even trying to talk about it, we're still doing it dualistically. Yeah. I often say, every word that comes out of my mouth is a pointer, all of it. And I'll also go as far as to say, every word that's coming out of my mouth isn't the truth, the absolute truth. If you want to experience the absolute truth, it would be absolute silence. 0 thoughts, 0 words coming out of the mouth. Silence. And in experiencing silence, again, it's not like you fall off the chair dead. Yeah, we still are. Yeah. The only problem is, this personal me character was conditioned into us from around the age of 2 years of age, when we started to learn language. Look at all our thoughts. Whatever culture you're brought up in, your thoughts are going to be in that language. We're taught that. Yeah. So, yeah.
On that topic,
yeah.
The thing that seems unclear is a will to move my attention seems to belong to my thoughts. I'm not sure where that is, but I'm not saying I have a choice, but I feel like I have the ability to move my attention.
Okay.
And that feels like a choice.
Do you have okay. And what about the thoughts?
The thoughts just pop up wherever I move my attention. That's right. The funny thing about it.
But that's primary. The right. Thoughts of yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like I said,
well, have
say
a look.
If I'm just chewing away on a bone of thought, and I go, just quit thinking about this, and I go, I'll think about, and then I go, that's it. Where it goes from there, I have no control over, but I feel like there's a moment where I go, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm moving my thoughts.
I understand, but even that thought, Jerry's not having. Otherwise, there'd be a Jerry there. Yeah. Otherwise, there'd be a Jerry
Right.
there that was the
There is
thinker.
there is no one making that choice. I
Yeah.
get that idea
So, okay.
because
Yep.
that's just another a ball of thoughts that
Right.
tricks you into thinking that's you.
Right.
But the
So,
reality is there's something there, and in that moment is where is like a little blank microsecond of wait, and that's it, and then it's gone. But it's a brief thing.
yeah,
But I
let's
just
just,
go,
sorry.
ooh, if whether I'm just like going back into sensations in my body, whatever,
Mm,
something to like get back in the moment, man. Just pull your head back, or
let's
that's bad language for it, but the idea of
understand.
redirection.
Yeah. Let's just explore that just for 1 second. Yeah. You said there's something there. What are you referring to when that comes out?
Probably the illusion of my amness, my
Is the amness an illusion?
probably
Okay.
because again, I said this goes back to that muddy thing. We're here, we are talking about it, and I can't do justice for what I'm experiencing when it happens.
Okay.
So it kind of sounds like thinking and
Yep.
being and meing and getting all blurry.
Okay. So, can you honestly sit there with a straight face, Jerry, and say to me, I am not?
No.
Right. So there's an amness.
Yes.
Okay. We only get into trouble when we attach other words after I am.
Right.
I am Jerry.
Agreed.
Oh, and then the backstory comes in about Jerry. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just the pure I am can't be denied. What that I am is, where that I am is irrelevant. But the truth is, we can't sit here and say, I am not. Why? You'd have to be there to say, I am not. You understand? Yeah. So this,
Right.
that was the pointer that Nisargadatta Maharaj was given. Yeah. He was my teacher's teacher, Nisargadatta Maharaj. The only the, the only thing he was given from his teacher was simply stay with the I am. They didn't have any other discussion. Nothing. Can you imagine? You go to somebody, yeah,
That's a short pointing.
a teacher, and all they say to you
Brevity.
is, yeah, all they say to you is stay with the I am. And, Nisargadatta trusted that, went away, got on with his job. He used to sell cigarettes on the side of the road. He used to roll cigarettes and sell cigarettes to people on the side of the road. Yeah. And any chance he had, he would stay with the I am. But he still worked. He still had family and so on and so forth. And he's interacting with people. And then every now and then a thought would arise, which wasn't his thought, but a thought would arise, stay with the I am. Yeah. Now, what is this I am? What is it? As soon as we attach anything after it, after the I am, a big story comes into play. Okay? If we don't attach anything after the I am, what's it pointing to? That pointer, because that's what he was given. Even I am is a pointer. If if you were dependent on that I am statement for your very existence, you'd have to walk around nonstop all day saying, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, to exist. I am, I am, I am. You don't have to do that. So, what is that? I am, 2 words, which is a pointer. What is it pointing to? Yeah. Now, often people can't sit with that until they know what they're not. Because in knowing what you're not, as I said a moment ago, something remains. Call it consciousness, call it awareness, call it beingness. Yeah, there's seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, happening. Something remains. Yeah. So that I am pointer or statement is pointing to something. Now the question is, what is it pointing to?
And if I answer, I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yes, you would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't deny I am. No one can. Can't deny it. Because you have to be there to deny it.
Responsive? I mean, could you shorten it up even more? Responsive? I don't know.
I would just take it, honestly, Jerry,
Yeah.
I would just take it as being
Yeah.
conscious, aware. Just check for a second. Does that beingness, consciousness, and awareness, is it dependent upon or contingent upon the me character for it to be happening? Beingness, consciousness, and awareness. Is it dependent upon the me character for the beingness, consciousness, and awareness to be?
No.
Not
It's
at all.
first.
It's
It's
first.
first.
Good. So once you understand what you're not, then you don't have to go looking anywhere for what you are. Just sit with what you are. This
Yeah,
is
there's
what
some conditioning that makes me go like a shame or a guilt feeling about thinking again. It's
ah,
like you have a brief moment, and then all of a sudden I go, "Damn it, I'm doing it again." And, it
ah,
becomes like a
good point. Really,
beat
really
yourself up thing.
look, yeah, I know. Look, it's a really, really good point. And I know I used to do it. And I know just about everybody I speak to does exactly that, Jerry.
Yeah,
Just about
I feel
everybody.
bad that I
I know,
became a me again.
I know. So here's what I would recommend for that. Yeah. Every time you notice that, oh, I've become a me again. Oh, I've been lost in thoughts again. Yeah. Instead of doing the normal thing, which is, guilt, I've done it wrong. What's wrong with me? When am I going to get this? Blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. Every time you catch it, you go, ah, ah, got it, saw it. Okay. Yeah. It's very different to what we would normally do. It's a point
Yeah,
of, it's a point where, see, in that moment, you're actually seeing the truth. But what do we do with it as a me character? We go, oh, what's wrong with me? And as soon as we do that, yeah, we're back in the mind again.
yeah, and just deeper into the
Yeah,
hole of
yeah.
thought. Yeah,
It just goes round and round and round. So when any truth, any insight, yeah, and an insight is also, shit, I've been lost in the mind again. Or I've been identifying with the thoughts again. That's an insight. That's incredible to see that and come to know that. It's incredible.
but isn't that just a thought when you say insight?
Of course it is.
Yeah,
So everything I'm saying is a pointer.
right, 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 right.
And like you said a moment ago, and I said a moment ago, not actually true. That's why all of this is about pointing. And we jumped onto the I am statement, which is a really sharp pointer. They don't get much sharper than I am. Yeah. So what is that I am statement or those two words pointing to?
Mm.
What's it? Yeah. Yeah.